everyone, and welcome to the Rebirth Summit 2025, Stories of Unyielding Courage. I'm Payman Lorenzo, host of the Leaders Web podcast and YouTube channel, where I've been showcasing over 400 art-centered entrepreneurs from around the world in the last almost 5 years. I'm also a 4-time #1 international best-selling author, TEDx speaker, and international speaker at conferences around the world, as well as founder of the Profitable Podcasting and YouTube Academy. Of course, I'm also a collector of success stories and goosebump-inducing stories that I love showcasing on my podcast. What I do, I help authors, coaches, and speakers get the first and next high-ticket client by leveraging the tremendous power of podcasting and YouTube in as little as 30 days, even if they have no audience to start with. I'm honored to be selected as an interviewer for this international summit featuring 100 plus inspiring stories of transformation and rebirth. And today, I have the great pleasure of interviewing Baba Sam, also known as the Miracle Man. And wow, what a story! After I read your bio, in a nutshell, after enduring 38 years of multiple sclerosis, bipolar disorder, migraines, and several other so-called incurable chronic illnesses, you became frustrated with being sick and tired. You discovered a path to inner peace that led to miraculous and spontaneous healing. And today, you're free from disease and disability. Your mission is to empower individuals with chronic illnesses to rise above the incurable, so-called incurable diagnosis and discover the inner healer, leading to a vibrant and joyful life. He also founded the Vibrant Soul Society and the Inner Healer School. He has also appeared on numerous podcasts and TV shows and authored 2 books. Baba Sam, absolute pleasure. Thank you and welcome. How are you doing today?
Good, Payman. It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
Pleasure's all mine. So tell us, can you share your rebirth journey? What did you go through and how did it shape who you are today?
Yeah, so where I was in my life was, as a sick disabled man for a very long time. So imagine you have this worst headache of your life, this migraine, where you can't even see straight. The pain is so strong. And then I had this pins and needles going down my arms. This led me to going to the hospital eventually. So within a few days, I was in the hospital, couldn't see, couldn't walk. My whole body, half of my body was numb. And then in the hospital for 3 weeks, diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. So I lost the ability to walk at age 37. But then even before this, it was always, my life was a living disaster. Because in my 20s, I was consumed by all this darkness in my mind that I call the head trash. And from this head trash, I nearly took my life twice. And there was even more disasters in my life that at age 6, I was hit by a van where all this started. So it was like the last day of first grade, I heard the familiar song of the ice cream truck, bugged the parents for the money for the ice cream. Went out, got my ice cream, walking around the ice cream truck. I was run over by a van. So that was the last day of first grade. I didn't go back to school to 4th grade. I was really in really bad shape. So from age 6 to age 44, my life was basically a walking disaster. I had 6 incurable diseases, and it was just all these issues. And today I'm perfectly healthy with no signs of anything, no medicine, no pain, no nothing. It was really a miraculous healing.
Wow, what a story. Delighted that you've been able now to share that gift with others. So what was your turning point, the moment that changed everything for you?
Yeah, so what was a turning point for me was I didn't realize there was a turning point. You read all these stories about bipolar, migraines, multiple sclerosis, whatever it may be. You read all these stories, and they always say that this is incurable, that you can treat the symptoms, but you really can't get rid of it. So with multiple sclerosis, I was dealing with a lot of fatigue. I was really tired. So I was watching a lot of TV, and I used to watch ghost hunting shows. But I didn't know if it was real or fake. It was TV. Then I saw a tweet from a ghost hunter. Hey, we're having this event in town. It's like, oh, I can go to this. I can put on my cooling vest, get my cane. I can go to this. So I had an experience on this ghost hunt that changed everything for me. So you're imagining you're in this ghost hunt. You're sitting on the bench. Not much is happening. It was kind of boring initially, but then I felt somebody sitting right next to me that wasn't there. So I was like, oh, ghosts are real. So I felt somebody, it was really strange. Somebody sitting next to you that doesn't have a physical body. Like, oh, ghosts are real. So this got me curious. Okay, so what's this ghost world all about? So I read a book from a medium that speaks to spirits. I was like, okay, let me see what's going on here. So then they talked about meditation. And one of the benefits of meditation was inner peace. I'm like, I need inner peace. I was so stressed out, so overwhelmed with life. I had no concept of healing myself. It was simply, I wanted peace. Then my story is very similar to Eckhart Tolle, if you're familiar with him, where he was very depressed and he kept saying, I can't live with myself. I can't live with myself. I can't live with myself. Then he questions himself, like, well, who's the I can't live with? So when I discovered meditation, I thought that means your mind stops thinking. So my mind would start thinking and be like, stop thinking. Mind thinking, stop thinking. Then I stopped myself and said, wait a second. If I'm aware of my thoughts, then I'm not my thoughts. This was a huge realization for me that my thoughts were not the truth because I nearly killed myself twice because of those thoughts. So once I realized I wasn't my thoughts, then I asked the next question. Well, if I'm not my thoughts, then who am I? And I had a very simple practice. So within about 2 weeks, I heard a voice. This voice said, perfect spirit. I'm like, that's it. My spirit is perfect. It's simply the body and mind that are damaged. Then I just felt this great sense of peace come over me. And I just knew all is well. And I just knew all my health challenges were over in that moment. It was like, boom, there it is. But then it took some time for the body to catch up to that reality. But at that point in my life, I just knew all my health challenges were over. It's still surreal today. 10 years later, 12 years later, I'm perfectly healthy today. No MS, bipolar, arthritis. None of these issues are here anymore. It's just gone. Just simply by discovering that I had thoughts, but I wasn't my thoughts, that I am spirit, you are spirit, everyone is spirit. But we get this mind constantly interfering with our life, what I call the head trash. We need to throw that out. We need to go beyond our head trash and really step into who we really are.
So by controlling your thoughts, that's how and where you found the strength to rise again in the midst of at your lowest moment.
Yeah, so it's really about is no longer taking my thoughts as a source of truth. Before it was always taking my thoughts as true. And then we know most of our thoughts are creating these limitations, these restrictions, these stories. Like I always had the stories that I'm incurable, I can't be fixed. But to realize my thoughts are just noise. And I still see my thoughts as noise, that the truth is this deeper place within us, this intuition, these gut instincts, whatever we wish to call it, this greater essence within us.
Wow, powerful. What message would you give to someone who's currently going through what you went through?
Yeah, if you're going through what you're going through, just take it as information. I always tell people that are going through either a chronic illness, they're really a horrible diagnosis, to realize the diagnosis is simply information. It has no bearing on your destiny. It only has power on your destiny if you give it that power. I know I was giving my diseases all this power. I have MS. I have bipolar. And that really defined my life, was constantly being my labels. I was my label. And it's just to see that it's just information. It has no power on your destiny, that we are spirit, we are soul. We need to tap into that greater essence and live the life that we want to live, to be happy, to be joyful, to be healthy. We have that power.
Absolutely. Classic example is not what happens to you, but how you react to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's always about like letting go and to realize I'm always in a reactive state. When we can stop doing this and responding to life, and we step into that higher power. this deeper place that we can do all things and we're co-creators of this universe, our life, that we can always turn things around when we just learn to be here in this moment. I didn't realize what I was doing in my meditation practice was learning to be here. Oh, mind thinking, where are my feet? Mind thinking, where are my feet? So the first step for me was just learning to be present. Before I wasn't present, I was lost in thoughts. I was lost in stories. I was lost in pain, whatever it was, but it was about being here in this moment, much like Eckhart Tolle, the power of now. And from now, I healed.
Love that, love that, love that. So tell us about the work you do now and how are you using your story to help others?
Yeah, so what I formed was this vibrant soul society that we need to go beyond our head trash. I call that all that mental noise, that head trash, and step into our vibrant soul. That's really help individuals now is letting go of all their stories and tapping into their greater essence by firstly by just learning to be here, to really ground yourself, remember who we really are outside of these stories, that we are the aliveness, the beingness. And if this makes no sense to you, understand you no longer have a toddler body. You no longer have a teenage body. All these changing bodies, that is not you. The one who sees through the eyes, that is you. So we're tapping deeper into that place, this aliveness. And from there, all things are possible. If we're caught in our thoughts, that's a limitation. We need to step into our truth, then everything is possible.
Absolutely love that. What does the word rebirth mean to you personally?
Yeah, we got to think rebirth is to be here in this moment. In this moment, everything is possible. When you're not here, then life, you get stuck. So rebirth is about being here in this moment. And when you rebirth, everything is possible in this moment. So rebirth is always here in this moment. There's always a new possibility, a new way forward is when you're here in this moment. A new way forward doesn't exist if you're in the mind. When you're really here, then life can begin.
Absolutely, absolutely. If the world could remember one thing from your story, what would it be?
That your diagnosis is just information. Your diagnosis is not your destiny. You are all
Absolutely.
powerful. So just slow down and just remember who you are. That is enough.
Absolutely powerful words. Thank you. Thank you, Baba Sam, for sharing your powerful story, your heart. This was really powerful. Your journey is truly a beacon of hope. This has been another incredible conversation on Rebirth Summit 2025 Stories of Unyielding Courage. I'm Payman Lorenzo, and it's been an absolute honor to host this interview as well as the global movement for healing and transformation. Stay tuned for more interviews from courageous speakers around the world. Until next time, this is Rebirth TV signing off. Thank you, Baba Sam.